Maybe that will start it. Oh, goodness.
No, that's not working either.
I've never had this happen before.
Is it in the setting when you set the meeting? Did it have some sort of setting that you needed to?
So this happened in a council meeting and we ended up actually having to send out a brand new link.
Really? Okay.
Couldn't figure out how to get everybody on screen.
Okay.
Now, if you don't need to see our beautiful faces, we can still verbally walk through the meeting.
Yeah, if everyone's okay. The only concern I have is that I sent the link out like in the announcement. So
Right.
like the non-participants.
Exactly.
That's my only concern. I don't know if that would bother anyone.
Well, it does go to public access. I completely agree. So it may be best that we just continue on audio. Bryn, do you have a feeling on that?
Sounds fine to me.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, we don't want folks to not have access to the meeting completely.
That's the most important element in my way of thinking.
I don't know what happened on the settings end. I apologize.
It's okay. It has happened before. And it's just one of the joys of Zoom. Well, Bryn, it is awesome to hear your voice. Thank you for all the unseen work that you put in for 9 hours of marathon meeting. You are appreciated.
Thank you. We appreciate all you guys' hard work too. This is not an easy time, so.
Well, we are lucky to have an exceptional team.
We really are.
And that goes for Cindy as well. Steffi was having trouble with the link. She contacted me this morning. I emailed it
Yes.
separately.
Oh, she was having trouble with the link. Okay, sorry.
So I know we don't see her yet. And it's 9, so.
Can you hear me?
I can. We
Can you hear me?
unfortunately, I was going to send you a message back. We unfortunately aren't going to have video. Something happened in the setup, which was probably my issue. But because I published the meeting with this link, I don't want people to not be able to access the meeting from the public. So I think if everyone's okay with it, we're still going to go ahead with the meeting in this.
Okay, good. Then I'll quit trying to figure out why I don't have video. I thought I'd done something wrong.
Yeah, we had Steve, but now he's left. Is he still here? No. Oh.
Okay, we got me now?
Yes, yes. And I'm assuming that one that says Paula but has Stephanie's picture on it is actually Stephanie.
Okay, so can you see me? Can you see me?
No, unfortunately, we won't be able to use the video on this because of an error in the settings. So, and we want to make sure the meeting is still set as public. So we're going to go ahead and, if everyone's okay with it, we're just going to go ahead and go with the just the audio. So everyone can in the public can still have access to the meeting.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Do I need to do anything else different?
No, you're good. You're good.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to pull up the agenda here. So I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order, 9:03, and then I'll go ahead and do roll call. So Counselor Jensen,
Here?
Counselor Hyatt,
Here?
Counselor Steffinger.
Here.
Right. The whole committee is here. The next thing we need to do is the election of the chair.
I nominate Paula Hyatt.
I second.
All right, Paula is the chair, if she's okay with that.
I am totally okay with that.
Okay,
Mm.
so I will let you take, Paul, do you have a copy of the agenda, correct?
I am pulling it.
Okay.
So I know the first item is with regard to last year's minutes. And Natalie, thank you for sending out the updated copy on those.
Yes, I apologize, the wrong
No,
ones
no,
were
no,
sitting there.
it's quite all right. It's 12 months between dances, and that inserts its own fun. So with that, were there any questions or feedback on the minutes?
Not here.
Do I have a motion from the floor?
I move to accept the minutes as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Now, I actually do not have the agenda, Natalie. Do you?
Yes, I have it. Yep.
If you could pop that to me
Yes, I'll
from
send
there. I do have the list of applicants. If it's easier, I can just run down the list of applicants.
I will go ahead and put the link to the agenda here.
In the chat.
Yes, so that way.
Excellent.
Oh, I'm gonna send it to everyone. All right, so
Brilliant.
right there. So
Thank you. All right, so with that, do we have any public input for the meeting today?
and that was the public input that would have been sent this morning.
Okay, so this morning we received a PDF file in addition to the worksheet that had the preliminary allocations submitted by each of the committee members. And in that public input, there were about 5 different letters, and those will be recorded as the meeting public input accordingly. With regard to staff report, would that be you, Natalie?
Yes, yes. I went
Great,
ahead.
I will turn it back to you.
Perfect, thank you. So we had 13 applications submitted, no late applications. All applications submitted had the proper documents, or we worked with the organization to get the proper documents. The review of the applications will be the next thing on this agenda. This will allow any committee members to speak to any specific applications that they want to speak to. All allocations from the committee members were combined onto a spreadsheet and averaged out, and that's that will be shown in this meeting. But that was emailed to the committee earlier today, so they can kind of get a heads up as to where they're heading with the allocations. Although in that, some of the averages for the organizations do not average out to the 5,000, which was the minimum award. So that's kind of where the work will be with the with the committee, is making sure all of those awards stay at 5,000. In the past, the committee has gone through and added temporarily to the final allocation column the amounts over 5,000 just to get a head start. The committee then reviewed each organization allocation line by line. In the past, I'm sorry, I already said that. Once the committee has decided on their suggested allocations, they will need to pass a motion, and these allocations will be presented to council with the hope that these allocations will be adopted on June 21st, and contracts will be emailed to the organizations after this, with distribution of the of checks and funds starting on July 1st. So that's kind of just the discussion of the process that we've had in the past. Although the committee can take the process anyway, it's up to you, but that's kind of just the discussion of the process. So, and that's all I have.
Sounds good, Natalie. And thank you for the clarification on the minimum award. That is always one of the big questions and one of the hardest challenges with regard to this process. I don't think I'm able to share my screen given our visual issue. Is it possible for you to share the allocation worksheet so the team can work from there? And I'd also like to welcome those that are in the meeting room as attendees. We are glad you are here this morning, so thank you for participating. All right.
And whatever you all tell me to do, I will get updated on the sheet.
Sounds good. Can you move your sheet a little bit to the left so that we can see all three?
I apologize.
columns? Oh, you don't need to apologize. All on Zoom. Okay. So with regard to the organizations and the average allocations, those that fall below the $5,000 threshold are Schneider Museum, Ashland New Place Festival, Klamath Bird Observatory, and Ballet Folklorico. And all others, the average allocation is above 5,000. So in the past, we have dealt first with those allocations that are below that $5,000 threshold. And we, I think in the past, have actually zeroed them out and then distributed accordingly. But just because we've done it that way before, doesn't mean we do it that way this time. And I would welcome input from both Steph and Stephen on how they might like to proceed. And also, do Steph and Stephen want to talk at all to their allocations as they stand currently?
Thanks, Paula, for the clarity on that. I would offer up the idea that if the average is a result of 2 of the 3 members making an allocation, but one of the members having nothing, I think that's worthy of discussion. If one of the allocations and the Klamath Bird Observatory fits into that, has 2 blanks, hope I'm making sense, they have 2 with no allocation and only 1 with 1, that would be zeroed out. But I think it's worth probably talking about the 2 that had 2 members given allocation, and possibly we might be able to distribute the Klamath Bird Observatory between those 2 with maybe a little bit more money, and at least get them to the 5,000 to honor the 2 members that in a majority voted to give them an allocation. Does that make sense?
It does, and it's excellent feedback. Steph, your thoughts?
That feedback makes sense to me as well. This, can you hear me all right?
Absolutely.
During this allocation, I was trying to give money that I felt would have the most impact. And I wasn't as into giving small grants because of what has just happened in our community and when it needs to get back on its feet. I felt like giving enough money to really make a difference to organizations made more sense than giving small grants.
And that too is excellent feedback. Counselor Jensen, did you want to provide any input as to how you approached your allocations?
Well, I actually had somewhat the same thing in mind that Steph had. I also looked at historically kind of what we've done and gave a little bit of honor to the precedent. And I think we all followed that to a degree, because a couple of the newcomers didn't gain the necessary history or the necessary urgency, and it looked like we were on the same page on several of those, all 3 of us. So I like the allocations. I like the averages. Do we feel that? Do we feel that, for instance, like New Place Festival and Schneider could be bumped up to at least $5,000? Steph, would you be okay with that?
I would be okay with that, yes.
Okay.
So with that in mind, Natalie, let's go ahead and zero out the Klamath Bird Observatory from the 2006-07. So that'll give us a little residual on those that have 2 allocations, not 3. And I would say, with regard to the allocations that I put forward, I was events focused, primarily because the goal of the tourism grant category is to bring in visitors from greater than 50 miles. And many of these organizations do incredible work in that realm. And in keeping with that, it was my goal to support those that could bring folks in regionally and could do so with that 50 miles in mind. And a lot of times what drives that can be events based. So that was my thinking as I went through these applications. And I will say, as I say for the last 5 years, having done this work, it is incredibly challenging. And I think Steph and Stephen probably agree with this because I know they've done this before as well. We are a very fortunate community and we have exceptional organizations doing exceptional work, all in their own right and on their own merit. And it can be a challenge to take only $80,000 and distribute it accordingly. So I do want to commend all those who have applied for the work they do in their community. And though we have to sit here and make these difficult decisions, it doesn't mean that we value that work any less. All right. Natalie, thank you for removing the 266. Can we bump up Schneider Museum of Art, please, to 5,000, and then the ballet to 5,000 as well, and New Place Festival to 5,000, and we will go over. And when we do, we can work it down from there. Okay, we're 2,334 over. I noticed that when we look at the Ashland Gallery Association and Mount Ashland Association, because of the law of averages, it comes out to 14,667 and 11,667. Steph and Stephen, would you be open to rounding those down to 14 and 11 respectively? And then we can see just how much of a balance we need to figure out.
I would be in
Sure.
favor.
That's fine.
Okay, so with that, we are $1,000 over. Suggestions from the floor.
1,000 over.
It looks like you do have, not to interrupt, but it looks like you do have Ashland Folk Collective at 4,000 as well. So
Oh, thank you for that. Absolutely. Natalie, good observation. Let's bump them up to 5 and then we'll have to find 6,000. Oh, I apologize. Wow, I have not gotten through my coffee today. I can do math, I promise. So now we will find the 2,000.
So now we're looking for 2,000.
2,000, Steph, yes.
I would suggest taking 1,000 off of each of the largest contributions.
Stephen?
I think that makes sense.
Okay. Pause for a second, Natalie, because we've also got the 17,000 at Science Works. So an option could be to take the 17 down to 15 or take 750 from each or thereabouts. Because the top 3 are Mount Ashland at 11, Ashland Gallery at 14, and Science Works at 17.
I'd take a third off of each.
All right, third off of each. Stephen, do you agree?
Right. I guess there's no compelling reason to have it be nice round zeros when we finish with the allocation. I guess it could be parsed out like that. Sure.
So that'll be 667 from each of the 3, Natalie.
okay,
And I can help with some of that math.
I'll put a formula in.
Perfect. Excel in action.
This one. Correctly.
And just put one of them to 34 and that'll take care of the dollar.
Do you have any ones that you specifically want? Is this one okay? Science Works.
Yes. Okay, so with that, We are accounted for the $5,000 minimum. We have the full 80,000 allocated. And I open it to the floor for feedback on the organizations if we feel that one should receive more based on the type of work they're doing. Stephen or Steph, any input?
I'm pretty good with this. I like it is.
I like this as well. I think that I really looked at as a viewpoint, what would help the community best for what these grants are intended to do. So that's how I spread my contributions.
And I would say likewise for myself, I would highlight Mount Ashland doing excellent work in the winter, and that shuttle system from a transportation perspective being integral to our tourism industry and bringing people in from over 50 miles. Likewise with Science Works, it's one of the few things that we have here for our younger set. And that is something that we are absolutely trying to focus on as a community, and one that is all age friendly. So with them in the mix here, I was happy to see them apply. We also have a variety of smaller events, but that are much loved and bring folks into our city. And that specifically, like looking at the Southern Oregon Pride Parade, that application, the 5,000 would support the parade. And then we also have like Ashland Bed and Breakfast and others that work in tangent with these events to help sustain our tourism within the city. All right, Natalie, thank you for filling in the final allocation. So with that, the focus now transitions to the yellow column, and I would be open to a motion from the floor.
I move to, I move that this committee bring this spreadsheet as it currently sits forward to City Council for approval in a timely fashion.
I second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Passes unanimously. Back to Natalie, what do you need from us?
Let me pull up the agenda, make sure I know where I'm going. All right. So the allocation, discussion, deliberation, that's already been done. The next step would be adjournment.
I'll entertain a motion from the floor.
I so
I move that we adjourn this lengthy and laborious meeting.
I second.
Excellent. And with that, we adjourn the meeting and thank everyone who participated in the process this year. You are appreciated and valued members of our community. Thank you.
All right. And thanks, Paula. And thanks, Steph. And thanks, Natalie.
Thank you all. It was made it a very nice process that I think will benefit the city and those organizations. Thank you, Natalie.
All right. Take care.
Great
Thanks.
day all. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.